A barbecue thermometer with 6 temperature probes? Let's have a look. Dave Taylor here, and I'm in my kitchen because it's a little cold out right now to be doing barbecuing. I know, super hardcore people are like, what? Not barbecuing in -10 weather? It's okay. So, I have here the Nobebird BBQ Meat Thermometer, and it's pretty darn impressive. So, this is the transmission and base unit, and then it comes with 6 of these temperature probes. And let me unwrap one so you can see what we're talking about here. So, all of these barbecue thermometers, if you've never used one of these, you are missing out on an absolute revolution in how to barbecue and how to not have to stand at your grill the whole time and how to not have to just guess whether food is cooked or not. So, temperature probe, and this is one of the silicone ones, so it has a color-coded handle, and then long piece of metal, and then a plug. So easy enough, you plug it into one of the temperature ports on the actual transmission unit. We'll turn this on. This is the Chugod unit, even though it's the Nobebird BBQ Meat Thermometer. Both of these companies seem to be involved in this. I'm not sure which is which, but you can see that the temperature probe is reporting 80 degrees. Now, where this gets fun is that you actually have an iOS or Android app, and so it's immediately paired. It's super easy to work with. And in the app, I can see that now it's coming down to 77 degrees. Presumably, I can hold it really tight, and we'll see the temperature go up, assuming that I have not died and become a zombie, which would be an entirely different set of videos. So you expect the temperature's going up, so 86 degrees, hopefully it goes up a little more than that. That's a little low for a human temperature, but be that as it may. So you have 6 of these temperature probes. Each one comes with its own little handy wrap device, and 4 of which are color-coded with silicone probes. And then they have 2 that are pure stainless steel, and these are designed for higher temperature uses. So these look basically the same, but instead of the handle being color-coded, you have these color-coded beads on the line, so you can use that instead. And as you can see here, there are a lot of temperature probes. I'm not sure of a situation I would ever be in when I needed to track 6 temperatures simultaneously, but maybe if you're barbecuing for a lot of people and everyone has a different kind of food, and some people like things rare and other people like their fish to be super well done, whatever it is, you have 6 different temperatures. And you have this handy carrying case. So the whole thing is really nice and portable. And one of the nice things is with the Chugod is that it has a huge range. This is a 100-foot indoor range and up to 190 feet if you're purely outdoors, which means that you can have this right next to the grill or smoker or barbecue, and then your phone is keeping track of everything, and this could be 50 yards away. That's pretty impressive, right? So let's see. The app itself is really where all the cool stuff happens. So it gives you really easy ability to set target temperatures by food type, as you can see here. And you also have timers. So if you're cooking or barbecuing chicken, for example, you know, after a certain amount of time, you have to flip it, and then you flip it back and you marinate it again and all that. All of those timers and everything can be done in here. It does not yet actually flip the meat, but maybe that's the next generation of this product. So to actually test it, I thought I'd do 2 different kinds of things. The first one was I wanted to see how quickly does it react to a dramatic change in temperature. So for that, I poured boiling water in a cup with one of the temperature probes. Now, interesting to watch here is that how quickly the temperature goes back down. Now, I'm at altitude, so boiling point is not 212 degrees, but look how quickly the cup or mug itself ebbs out all of the heat. So I did it again with a cup that I had preheated, and you'll notice it doesn't actually make a huge amount of difference. So the answer to this, or sort of the moral of this story, is if you're trying to keep your tea or coffee really hot, get an insulated mug, because just a regular porcelain mug makes it cold pretty darn fast. So For test number 2, I thought I would just heat up some food, because one of the questions I always have is, are the temperature probes all consistent? And there's sort of a secondary question here, is when you are heating up food, how evenly does the temperature actually travel and go through the food? So this turns out to be a really interesting demo. It's a little long, so I've sped it up, but notice how I have 3 different temperature probes in this same saucepan full of pasta, and as the pasta heats up, the temperature varies wildly all over the pot. So I had to stir it a couple of times, and finally I figured as long as the minimum lowest of the 3 temperatures is high enough that it's going to be hot and ready to eat, then we're good to go. So that worked out really well, and by the time I pulled the probes out, you could see almost immediately they just dropped right back down to room temperature. So worked out really well. Both of those tests were good. The temperatures on that second test were not consistent, but that's because the probes are at different points in the food. I'm sure if I had put them all in exactly the same spot, number 1, I'd have a really big hole in my pasta, but number 2, they would have given me the same temperature reading. So what's the deal here? Is this actually a good barbecue thermometer? And the answer is yeah, this is actually a really cool solution. So you have the stainless steel probes, you have the color-coded silicone probes, you have this really nice portable travel kit, so you could take this for a tailgater if you're one of those people who tailgates and somehow you never get your burgers right. This is your solution. Now, it is a little spendy for what it is, and I do have to ask how often you'll actually need 6 temperature probes instead of just 1 or 2. But I guess on the other hand, it's nice to have the range. If you ever imagine you might be in that situation, well, now you got a tool that has a lot of range, a lot of range and a lot of different options for you to work with. More likely than not, though, you'll probably just be using 1 or 2, because if you're like me, you're cooking an item on the barbecue or in the smoker, right? So you're smoking a side of ribs. You need to get that to be at a certain temperature in its most sort of innermost spot. Once you get there, you're good, you're done, and it's ready to go and actually pull it out of that smoker and enjoy it. So I actually think this is a pretty cool product. It's a little spendy because it's very powerful, has a lot of temperature probes. Whether or not you need that many is up to you. So before I tell you the price though, let me ask if you can click on that subscribe button. Really appreciate when you subscribe. And tell me, when you're grilling or barbecuing, are you just winging it, so to speak, so that you're just looking at the food and cutting it and trying to figure out when it's cooked? Or do you actually have a temperature probe of some sort? And if you do, is it Bluetooth so that you have all this flexibility and range? These are a very modern product, and they really are very nice for a vast majority of your cooking tasks. So with that, the either Chugod or Nobebird BBQ Meat Thermometer with 6 temperature probes will cost you $49.99 at Amazon.com. So this is Dave Taylor, and I think I'm going to go back to warming up my pasta, which means I'll catch you in my next video.